afternoon, everybody. My name is Erica Garza from CWC, Connections for Abused Women and Their Children. And today I'm joined by Wendy Roman from CWC, Connections for Abused Women and Their Children. You're watching Hotline 21, a live interactive show on CanTV 21. We are also streaming online at cantv.org/hotline. The next 25 minutes, we're going to be talking about domestic violence. And please, if you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to call us at 312-738-1060. Hi, Wendy. Good afternoon. Can you please tell me more about what you do for the organization?
So I originally started as a counselor advocate for CAWC Greenhouse Shelter. And as of February of this year, I was promoted to Shelter Services Coordinator. So I'm now the supervisor at the shelter.
Oh, that's great. Did you work with women and children, males too?
So we take women and children, males, females, males up to the age of 17 years old.
That's awesome. We have that resource available for all the victims, survivors. I just want to mention this. October is a month awareness for domestic violence, and the color is the purple color. One of the resources we focus at the shelter, like you mentioned, is a 24-hour hotline, and we are available 24/7. I would like to share that information with you. This is a 24-hour domestic violence hotline at 773-278-4566. You can have more resources or any questions or more information about domestic violence, www.cawc.org. So, Wendy, do you have any event or experience you were living, you were working with CWC for those years that really impacts you, like working for survivors? Can you share one of the experience you had in the past?
Within the agency, I've had multiple experiences. I've been with the agency for a little over 3 years. And so I've seen women come and go, and I've seen and, heard of multiple different stories. But I think the one that has impacted me the most definitely has to be one of a woman who came into the organization seeking shelter and other services through the agency, but she was a little afraid because of the fact that she was not from the U.S. But it looks like we have a caller on the line.
Oh, yes, we have a caller. Hi, caller.
Hi, so my question is, can my landlord kick me out for a domestic violence situation? And what if my abuser is on the lease?
Thank you very much. The abuser is on the lease. In that case, I do recommend to do a safety planning. Also, take into account that if your abuser is on the lease, it's going to be difficult for you to live in the same place.
It also depends, too, on what kind of housing you're living in. If you have housing through, for example, CHA, the Chicago Housing Authority, there are certain exceptions or certain things that CHA can do for you as a survivor of domestic violence in a situation where you and the abuser are both on a lease. So whether it's them eventually relocating you because of safety purposes, because if we ultimately let you continue to live in that specific apartment, there's that probability that the abuser can continue to harass you because he now knows where you live. So there's a lot of options that are available depending on the housing situation of each individual.
Right, and I would like to add, there is one law that protects tenants for survivors of domestic violence that also you can request your landlord to change the locks. Of course, they cannot kick you out because you are living in a domestic violence situation, but they can protect you and they can give you other options too.
And it seems we have another caller on the line.
Hi, caller.
Hello.
Hello?
Yes. My question is, how long can you have a order of protection for?
How long can you have an order of protection for? That's a really good question. It's a case-by-case situation. So ultimately, the first step will obviously be to petition the order of protection. Most of the time, you get an emergency order of protection, which is 2 weeks. And then in that gap of time, they are supposed to serve the abuser and let them know that there is an order against them where they cannot have any kind of contact with you. And then they give you about 3 weeks to go back to court. And then the abuser has the opportunity to try and fight the order. And so in that situation, it depends. If the judge sees that this is a situation where, you know, your life is in danger and you do need the order, they might give it to you for a period of 2 years.
Yeah, usually preliminary order of protections takes about 21 days, which is about 2-3 weeks. Then after that, they can give you another one for a month, and it depends on the judge. Case by case, you know, it's different for every case. You can be granted probably 2 years or up to 10 years order of protection. But yeah, that's really important because when you have a partner who you're dating with, and sometimes you are not married, right? But you need protection. I just would like to share this information with you because maybe, you know, they can be very helpful for another person. But thinking of when you're dating with somebody who is not, you're not married with, you can get a restriction order. And that court is located at 555 West Harrison, Chicago, Illinois. I would like to share with you again our hotline for domestic violence, and this is a CWC 24-hour domestic violence hotline, 773-278-4566, 24/7. Services are available in multiple languages. All services are free and confidential. Please also, you would like to check our website at www.cawc.org. And we have another caller. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, I have a question. Is there any hope for survivors that are living with their spouse that is living, that's in CPD, like for their abuser?
Okay, so due to how can I word it? How sensible that information is, we would encourage you to give us a call again to our 24-hour hotline, 773-278-4566, and we can go ahead and give you more information about what options you have available in that situation.
The reason of that is for your own safety. You know, for every case is the nature of the sensitivity and, you know, safety issues. We would like you to call this number, 773-278-4566. For everyone's safety, we can make a safety plan with you and talk more about it. Thank you. Well, let's just continue. At the shelter, we have many, CWC provides many services, right? Can you please mention us what are some of the services that CWC provides and how many sites we have?
So Depending on the program, there's multiple. Most of them have about the same services. Um, Greenhouse, obviously, with the exception of Greenhouse, we also provide shelter. So we provide shelter, we provide housing, counseling services, we have legal advocates who are located at our administrative office at our Humboldt Park location. We have services ranging from like helping clients with creating a resume, applying for jobs, things of that nature, to providing resources, assisting them with applying for public aid benefits if that's something that they qualify for, things of that nature. The other programs run this similarly. So we have the Humboldt Park Outreach Program. We have two programs through Northwestern Hospital as well as Stroger Hospital. We have the Haymarket program as well that we have going on. So we have quite a few programs, and they all provide similar services.
Right, and I just would like to add, we also offer the 40-hour training for domestic violence. And for that, you can go in our website, www.cawc.org. If anybody would like have to share any comment or to ask any questions, you please call us at 312-738-1060. We have another caller in the line. Hello, caller.
Hi, I have a question because in some relationships there can be a lot of tension about issues related to money and finances. But what are some red flags for when it's financial abuse? How can I tell if it's abusive?
Okay, so when it comes to financial abuse, every person's situation is different. You might have a situation where you're working and then your abuser is keeping all the money that you're making because he wants to ensure that you're not leaving him and that he or she has the power. Then there's other situations where maybe the abuser is not allowing the survivor to find employment because she wants to ensure that they're the provider. And again, it's a power and control situation. They want to ensure that they have the power and the control over the survivor and that the survivor depends only on them in situations like this. So it just depends on everybody's personal experience and what they're going through. But there are a lot of signs, like you said. It involves like them isolating you, them taking your money, them ensuring that they have the power, them not letting you go to work, them not making sure that they are the ones who are administering the money. So let's say that they let you choose the money, but they tell you exactly how much you're able to spend out of the money that you're ultimately receiving. So we can give you more information if you have a specific case and you're unsure about whether or not you're going through a domestic violence situation. Like we said, we encourage you to call our 24-hour domestic violence hotline at the 773-278-4566 number. And depending on what your situation might be, we can offer more information about what options you have available, and we can help you determine whether or not you're in a domestic violence situation that involves financial abuse.
Right, that involves financial abuse. I was thinking of one of the examples too is when the abuser is asking you for your social security number and you use it to get credit or buy a car under your name and use it, misuse it. That also involves financial abuse too, and in many other ways too, to manipulate your life financially. But we would be glad if you guys can, you have any comment or any questions, please give us a call, 312-738-1060. Also, I want to share with you our CWC 24-hour domestic violence hotline. 24/7 is 773-278-4566. I'm sorry. Again, 773-278-4566. Services are available in multiple languages. All services are free and confidential. www is our website, .cawc.org. Also, Wendy, can you please share with us if you have the Illinois Domestic Violence Hotline?
Yeah, so in the event that you know somebody who's in a domestic violence situation and they're seeking shelter and you happen to call ours and we don't have any space available, or if you just want to talk to somebody that knows about all the shelters available throughout the Illinois or the city of Chicago, you can call at 877-863-6338, and that is the Illinois Domestic Violence Hotline. To make it easier for people to, it's 877-2-NDV.
That's great. Thank you very much.
No problem.
And another thing, let's talk about helping survivors for a second. In case of someone watching needs help, how can someone who is in an abusive relationship right now get connected with CWC? Or how, if they are not able to contact or get internet, how can they get in contact with us?
Okay, so if the person doesn't have a way of calling or they need to get out of that abusive relationship immediately, we normally encourage them to go to the nearest hospital or police station and let them know that they're in a domestic violence situation and they're seeking shelter, and then they will assist them in finding a place to go. They can also go to Salvation Army Shield of Hope, and they can assist them in finding a place to go in that moment as well there too, or finding a stable place to go or a temporary place to go. If it's like an immediate situation where you definitely need to get out of the environment that you're in because maybe you know your life depends on it, or you just can't take the abuse anymore, or maybe the abuser kicked you out in the middle of the night and you have nowhere else to go, you can always go to your nearest police station and your nearest hospital. The only thing with going to those two options would be the fact that it might take a little while for you to actually find somewhere to go or have them transport you to a safe place during that time. But it is the safest option than being out on the street, or maybe, you know, staying in a car, especially if you have young children with you.
Right. How a person can recognize how can you recognize if you're in an abusive relationship, for example? What are the signs like?
It would definitely depend, because there's so many different ways that you can be, you know, in a domestic violence situation. It can be an abusive relationship where it's like physical abuse,
Right.
where maybe, you know, your partner has now, or your cousin or your brother, or whoever is living under your same roof, might probably like grab you the wrong way, or like push you the wrong way, or like hit you against the wall, or maybe like beat you up. Those are some signs of physical abuse. You have sexual abuse, where he can be your husband, your boyfriend, because I've had so many different clients come and say, well, that's my husband, and I didn't know that I was being sexually abused because he forced me to be sexually intimate with him, and I thought it was okay because, you know, he was my husband. In those situations, no means no, yes means yes. Even if that's your husband, your boyfriend, if you say that you don't want to be sexually intimate with that person, then that is sexual abuse, because no person has the right to be intimate with you if you say no to them. You also have situations where they isolate you, where maybe in the relationship you have this abuser who gets rid of all your friends or tells you can't talk to people, and then slowly but surely, you know, your circle keeps getting smaller and smaller, and then eventually it goes into like your family, where now you can't talk to your family, or he like made all these different rumors or excuses, and now your family doesn't want to have anything to do, again, because they want to have power over you, they want to have control over you, and they want to ensure that the only person you have left is them. You have monetary, as we spoke, financial abuse. Again, having to deal with money not letting you work, or maybe having you work, but now they are taking your money away from you, or like you mentioned before, is they're using your social security number to buy all these different cars or take out all these credit cards under your name, and now they mess with your entire credit. So those are some of the signs of abuse, but
signs.
there's a huge
many,
list.
A huge list. And one of the things I would like to mention to you is domestic violence. Everyone can be a victim of domestic violence. And thinking of domestic violence is not only physical, like you need to have bruises or start bleeding.
Yeah.
No, it's more than that. There is always help, and this is the month, October, the awareness for domestic violence month, and the color is the purple, purple color. Also, that I would like to share with you is there's many ways the abusers manipulate the victim to control them. Also for immigration, right? Immigration issues too. We find out that some victims are, depending on their partners because the abuser promised them they're gonna have legal documentation.
Or
And-
they threaten to
Right.
have them deported if they end up leaving, or call the police on them. And one thing that I do want to let everyone know is that our agency has no political affiliation, so we don't discriminate based on race, nationality, sexual orientation. Whether you're documented or undocumented, or whether you're Caucasian, Hispanic, African American, we don't discriminate. We provide services to all populations. So if you know somebody or you yourself are experiencing domestic violence, and you're trying to learn more about it, or you have questions, or you just need help, or you want to talk to someone, don't hesitate to call. Again, our 24-hour hotline is 773-278-4566. You can also visit our website, www.cawc.org. All services are available in multiple languages. If there is a language that we do not have available, we can always contact an interpreter who can assist with the translation and ensuring that you get the information that you need.
Yes, please, domestic violence is important. If you see something, say something. Because if you see somebody is in need, please get help, or just try to call for help for this person. Sometimes women are not able to do it. I just want to say thank you, Wendy, for your time, for being here and sharing about domestic violence, and working for CWC so many years. And again, it's a pleasure for you be with you here. I'm sorry. And again, we would like to share CWC 24-hour domestic violence hotline number 773-278-4566. And our website is www.cawc.org.
You can also contact the Illinois Domestic Violence Hotline at 877-863-6338. Again, that's 877-863-6338, and that is our Illinois Domestic Violence Hotline.
Thank you very much for listening to us, and have a wonderful day.